Probably two of the most commonly used things on drawings are text and text with leaders. You see that all the time. We already seen with hole and thread notes and things like that Inventor automatically creates some for us. But Inventor has a very good, very simple, easy to use text and leader text tool. So we come up here to the text panel underneath the Annotate tab. You hit text and you start a text box. We can come in here. We can add some text to it. We can also add information. So I can come in here and I can pull in properties from the model, such as your eye properties. So I can come in here and say, give me the author. What you do is you pick what type of property and what property you want, and then you hit this little X here. I always forget to do this. This is very important to hit the X because otherwise it won't give you the information. You can also come in here and say physical properties. So you can say mass. I do a lot of plastic part design, and the mass is very important because how much it weighs. I actually have done recently some weights for like weightlifting. If you ever see me in real life, you'll know that they're not for me to use. I sit behind the computer and design them for people to actually use. But, we have to have the exact weight. It needs to weigh exactly 5 pounds or exactly 10 pounds down to 1/10 of an ounce or something like that to actually be able to sell it. So, mass is very important to us. At the same time, you may have volume. You start talking about volumes. You can have internal volumes. You can actually have what's the volume of the part. So how much plastic am I going to have to buy for my injection? So you get a lot of information that you could put in the text directly from the model. It will automatically update as you go through and make changes to your model. The mass and the volume will automatically update based on the model. Inside of our dialog box, we start up at the top and you have different styles that you can have. So you can change the style. You also have different justifications where you can do center justify, right justify or left justify. You can center it in the text box. Most of the time my text probably looks something like this. So it's centered in the text box. I can do stretch. I can adjust the spacing. So you get a nice spacing in there. You get all the usual suspects, such as the fonts, font size. Do you want to make it bold? Underline, italic. If you have numbers in here, you can actually come in here and decide how you want your text to be stacked. If you want to have a fraction, we can actually have a rotation in here. So we can rotate the text 90 degrees. Now this is going to rotate all the text, not just that one line. I'll change that back to 0. If I have numbers in here, I can adjust the precision of the numbers. I can decide which component I'm basing this on. So if you have a drawing that has 3 or 4 different components on it, you could choose which component that's going to come out of. And then you can choose, what precision. You can see that it will automatically give me stacking, where I can do auto stacking. I don't like auto stacking. I like to be able to choose if I want to stack. But I have several different symbols that I can come in here and add, diameter and degree, counterbore, countersink, things like that. I even have things like some information in here for material conditions and things like that. You can go into the character map, which is very similar to AutoCAD, where it'll give you the map of all the fonts and everything that's available. So you can do like a macro and a micro. You can even do microns and things like that if you get into some very specific stuff. You have the ability to add parameters. So this is a parameter of this part. So not only do I have properties of the part, but I have the parameters as well. So I can say, okay, D1, which is 100 millimeters. So what that's good for is I could actually have it show me the overall length of the part. I could do length, width, and height, and it would show it to me. I hit OK, and so it's ready to go and start another one. If I hit escape here and come up here and look at my text, and there's my nice text that some of it's underlined, some of it's bold, some of it's italic, and you can see that it's very easy and very powerful, just like AutoCAD text. Not quite as good as Word. If you need to edit it, you double click on it. The one thing that I am very disappointed in Inventor for, you'll notice that there is no spelling check. I am the world's worst speller, and I need spell check so bad, and I don't know why it's not in this program whatsoever, but there is no spell check in Inventor, so be very careful. What I try to do if I have any kind of serious typing I need to do is I'll type it up in Word, And then I'll start my text command and I'll paste it in here so that I get spell check and grammar check and all that stuff for me ahead of time. And you can go back and forth. You can come in here and adjust your text. So if I come in here and I adjust the width of it, it'll go down as small as it can go, and it'll go out as wide as I allow it to go. I had hit enter in here, but if I just had one continuous line like this, hit OK. Whenever you bring in the sides, of course, it's going to auto adjust the width. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, very easy to use, very user friendly. Then we have leader text, which is you drop the leader in there, you pick on what you want, you right click when you get done, and then you'll notice how much more difficult this dialog is to use. You know, this is the exact same thing, all the exact same options, anything you want to do with it, with the exception of you can't do rotation and you can't do some of the stretching and things like that. But for the most part, we can do everything that we could do up above. Hit OK. And now you have a leader. And it's ready to go again. Pick on the next object. I can actually walk around objects if I need to. You know, sometimes you get a real super sophisticated leader. Right click, say continue. Hit OK. So now I have my leader on here. If I zoom into it, just like any other program, I can drag it around. I can adjust my leader line, all my points. I can actually come in here and edit the text. I can edit the unit attributes. I can add the vertex. I can delete the leader. If I want to add multiple leaders, I can. I say add vertex, pick on it, come down here. And I come in here and I grab a vertex and it'll snap to, I think it has to snap to the first one out here. It won't snap to the one that's right beside the text for whatever reason. This is like a landing leader, so it won't snap to it. But I can add multiples to it. If I wanted to, I can come in here. I can delete a leader. So I can delete just that leader. And I can do it again and just delete that one. And basically I can go piece by piece all the way back to the original, or you know, just to the one or whatever I want to be able to have. So I have a lot of options in there with leaders. It's very easy to use. It's not real difficult. As you can see, you can play around with it. You will notice that, you know, you go the other way far enough, it will flip around on you there. It's a little bit more manual when you want to flip it around. You just drag it to the other side. It doesn't want to auto flip for you for whatever reason, but flipping it around is pretty easy. So you do get it out of the way of your objects. Play with the leaders a little bit and see how easy they are to use. Once again, super simple, not real difficult, very powerful though. The one thing we are missing is spell check. So I will warn you again, if you are a horrible speller like myself, be very careful. Make sure you copy it out to Word. Nothing more embarrassing than sending a customer something and misspelling something in the drawing. I get that a lot. I get a lot of people going, don't they have spell check? No, they don't have spell check. And I always try to remember to do it, but sometimes I don't. So try it out, see what you can do, have some fun with it.